Welcome to How We Did It, a podcast dedicated to dentists teaching dentists. This podcast is powered by eAssist Dental Solutions, and all of the guests are eAssist top practice providers that share their experiences, best practices, and what set them apart in their communities. All right, welcome everyone today. So we are interviewing our February winner of the eAssist Top Practice Award, Dr. Dustin Wallace of Maumelle Family Dentistry in Arkansas. Hi, how are you doing today?
Doing great. It's a little
Good.
chilly, but we're handling it. I got a jacket. I'm ready to go.
Right, I know I'm ready for some warm weather to come in and stick
Ma'am.
and not just tease us a little bit.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I know we got to talk a little bit that today's your first Friday to kind of get back into some fun and wrapping up things from the busy week and the snowmageddon there that you guys experienced this last week. So I'm
Ma'am.
excited just to learn more about you and your practice and kind of talking about what got you that top practice winner award and what a top practice looks like to you. So I'm going to kind of just turn it over to you to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about how you got into dentistry and what we should learn more about yourself.
All right, let's do it. So my name is Dustin Guy Wallace. My dad was a typewriter repairman. My mom was a waitress and then clerical work and all of that. So that's where I came about. Have one little brother. I guess it started for me real early, the fascination with dentistry, because I was about 3 years old and running around the house, and wham, I hit my grill right into the coffee table and cracked several of my front teeth and did a lot of destruction. And then my parents took me to the pediatric dentist. I ended up with, I don't remember exactly how many, but probably about 10 silver caps. So half my teeth were silver. This was, well, when it happened, it was probably still in the 80s because I was born in 86. But as, before they came out of my mouth, it was probably first grade when they all fell out. So it was the early 90s and hip hop culture was rising. And I loved my silver teeth. I was fascinated with them. Mom hated them. School pictures, it looked like a metal mouth, but I loved them. So that kind of ignited a little dentistry spark in my head. Then of course I got braces when I was 12, around sixth grade. And there was more fascination. And I've never had a cavity. So I guess all of my dental experiences were good and not bad because I never had any, hard work done other than braces, which were tough. And of course the silver caps, I think sedated for that. So no real bad experiences I could remember. And I just, the dentist was always happy. The team was always happy whenever I was a child growing up. So I just kind of had it in my mind that was something I wanted to do. Along the way, I also fell in love with music. I grew up Church of Christ, and we sang a cappella music, no instruments. So the vocals, and my ear got really, I guess, fine tuned. And then I picked up band, and when I got into middle school, high school, and from there, I fell in love with music and I decided I might want to be a band director. So when I went to college, I told the admissions counselors, I said, I want to be a band director or a dentist. And they kind of chuckled and said, well, wow, you're one of the first people today that knows what they want to be, And so long story short, they told me to do music first, then dental, because the other way around would be nearly impossible because of how hard the dental stuff is. And I agree with them. I think they advised me well. So I was a music teacher. I did a music degree in 4 years, and then I was a music teacher for 1 year. And then I said, nah, I think dentist was the better answer. So here I am after 7 more years of school, I think 11 total years of college. I'm finally a dentist, and I've been doing it for about 4 or 5 years now.
Wow, that's awesome. That's a really cool journey. I'm sure as a mom, the panic that your mom felt when you did hit your teeth. And then I cannot just imagine having silver teeth. I also was born in the 80s and can relate that at least, nowadays that probably would have been even more traumatic, just with
Yeah.
having that and versus the time frame that we grew up. It's so funny how you related to I was cool then, like it was
Yeah.
in.
Yeah. It was cool.
That's really funny.
At least I
And it's
thought
really
so.
kind of I think it's really inspiring too how your experiences at just a small age really kind of had an impact. And then it went into your teens with braces and that change that it made, to be able to now kind of give that back to your patients. I did hear someone told me when I spoke about we would be talking today that you do some fun things in your office with kids and something about balloon animals, maybe. Tell me something. Is that correct?
So yeah, that's something that I've kind of adopted. When I first got out of dental school, I'd kind of had enough of kids because I did 6 through 12, as a teacher of beginning band, middle school band, high school band, and choir as well. And I was like, man, here we go again. When I got out of dental school, the best job opportunity I could find ended up being a pediatric dental clinic. And it was actually 3 locations: Pine Bluff, Little Rock, and Fort Smith. I was a travel dentist for them here in Arkansas. It's called Cool Smiles, Kool, and I
Yeah.
love their name. I think they have since I don't know, sold out their company, so I don't know if they still exist. But anyways, I had to do mostly kids for a year and a half right out of dental school, and I was scrambling to try to find something I could do to bribe or impress or win them over, make them feel more comfortable. And balloon animals became my avenue to do that. Certainly personality, and then I would sing. I did a lot of singing,
Awesome.
so I think I spent probably one weekend on YouTube, bought the balloons on Amazon, and I think tying the balloon is like the hardest part. Just getting it tied, and
Yeah.
certainly airing the twisty balloons are really hard to air up. It's almost impossible to do it with your mouth. And I used to play tuba, and I
Oh,
can't
that's
blow them up. I
funny.
have to use the pump.
Right.
So
Just
here,
practicing that
let me show
dexterity
you.
for your handpiece, right?
Let me show you a demo right here.
All
So,
right.
uh, let's go with baby blue. I always tell kids this is my mustard jar. We're going to squirt some mustard into them. I don't know why it just looks like mustard.
My kids
Then,
would thoroughly enjoy this. They would want to
yeah,
go to the dentist.
yeah, the kids love it. They'll start telling me, you made me a dog last time. I want something
Yep.
different or whatever. And I've got about 6 or 7, but the dog is probably one of the quickest ones I can do. So
Right.
especially if I'm cramped on time, that's the one I'll go with to try to save time. A balloon sword is also, that one's very fast. I can do that very
Yeah.
quickly. But
I bet if you sent a poll out to your parents, they would say, yep, I hear it about 9-10 times a week. I want to go see the dentist and get another balloon animal. That's
I
great.
have a lot of patients that tell me they were ready to come get their balloon. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. And what an easy way to bribe them to get in the car to go get their teeth cleaned or checked,
Yes, yes, ma'am. It's a good little trick to have. So this here is a standard dog balloon that I make.
I can't believe just off of YouTube. That's
Mostly
awesome.
like a weenie dog.
That's
And then
good.
usually I will step it up one more notch for them if I have time, and I'll kind of paint a face on them. But yeah, it's very helpful to try to entertain and
So
make the kids feel
cute.
happy.
Well, there's no question why you got the top practice award for February. I mean, it's just little things like that, obviously, one, it's a business, one, it's a serving industry, to the community. But just to take it a step further where the things that may look little like parents stressing about. I mean, my son also had a traumatic dental experience or dental injury. And honestly, it's stressful for the parents too. So if I know I'm going to someone that's welcoming and just makes it a fun experience, it just takes the stress out of it. So it's really just nice to see that giving back and just that personality that you bring to your practice.
Yes, ma'am.
So we talked a little bit about your singing and kind of exploring, or well, the education now background that I didn't know about into the musical aspect. Tell me a little bit about just your community involvement and what that looks like, because I'm really interested. That sounds really exciting.
Yes, ma'am. Well, so I have a best friend that he was with me down in South Arkansas. He got his music degree there after I had already gotten mine at North Arkansas with the Razorbacks. I went down after I taught school for a year. I actually went to his college where he was getting his music degree, and then I was getting my dental requirements done. It's called University of Arkansas at Monticello, and they're the Boll Weevils, which is an interesting mascot. That's a different topic. But anyways, he and I became really good friends. We actually the school that I taught for 1 year, McGee, Arkansas, he taught there 2 years after I left.
Wow.
But now he happens to be in Maumelle, and he's the head band director now at Maumelle High School. And whenever I found this dental office, he was already here as a band director. So I valued his opinion a lot on basically, the demographics, the statistics, the trending of the town of Maumelle, and everything was positive from him, overwhelmingly positive. And the office looked, it needed some updating, but not a lot. And it has a good skeleton to it. And there was an unfinished side so we could expand, and everything just fell into place. So ended up, getting the office here at Maumelle. So to get to your question, I'm circling around. I value music a lot, and it just brings me a lot of joy. And it's a hobby of mine that I really am passionate about. And I feel that there are a lot of people that share that passion with me. So in the last year, I know we raised and donated $1,000 to a local group called Acapella Rising, which is men's barbershop harmonies, 4-part harmonies. And I sang, it's all acapella. I sang in that group for 2 years now. And also got my dad, my brother, they're in there too. So it's kind of a family thing. It's a lot of fun. But we go to competitions, like we went to Dallas, Texas every year. Since COVID, we haven't met yet again. We've been closed down. But anyway, so I've donated money there to a music organization. And then this year, actually, I happen to have my best handwriting technician at our office filled out a big check for us. And I'm going to go here, I guess at about 12 noon, I'm going to go and I'm playing bass guitar with the high school jazz band, and Mr. Blake Morse, the director there. And I got a big check here that I'm going to present
See it
to
there
the
in the
band.
background. Yeah.
Kind of, I don't know if you can see
That's
it or
nice.
not.
Yeah. That's so cute.
I am not talented with handwriting, so I
No,
definitely
it looks great.
a good team member to help with that.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So we've got some fun planned today to get that to them and play some music.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you really enjoy just your community and everything that is kind of intertwined, and found a perfect location for your practice. I mean, it's really nice to kind of hear that journey. Everyone's journey is a little bit different on where they land and kind of how they drive patients into the practice. And I mean, it kind of seems like it's a no-brainer. They see your face everywhere in different involvements. I mean, especially in the high school. I mean, that bridges in so much different community outreach through parents and friends and family and children and such. So that's really exciting that you're able to kind of immerse yourself in the community, and it sounds like have a blast while you're doing it.
Yes, ma'am. I think our next donation, if we can get to it, is going to be the Maumelle Animal Shelter, because my whole staff is dog friendly. I don't think we have a lot of cat people, but everybody's dogs, and I have a big dog at home. He's a giant schnauzer. He and I also walk to work, because I only live a mile, maybe just over a mile from here, and several days of the year we will walk to work, and I'll have him in my bathroom back here in my office.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm a dog person myself. We have the German short hairs. We have two
Nice.
of those, kind of just stuck with that breed. Well, and kind of circling back to talking about just becoming a top practice, what would you say, in wanting to start, when you started looking for your practice and kind of set that foundation of building your patient base, what to you does it mean to have a top practice? If say someone was reaching out to you that's still in dental school.
So to me, to have a top practice, you have to be efficient. You have to avoid extra costs that you don't need. You have to motivate your team to have a good positive culture where no one is the phrase I tell the team a lot of times, the phrase "that's not my job" is not something I want to hear at our office. It should be, yes, I can help you with that, and what else can I do for you, because we're all in it together, and my team has really bought into that. And we take care of each other. It's just like a family here for us, and I think the patients give us a lot of feedback where they say, wow, you guys have such positive energy, and everybody's interacting so well, and y'all are so in sync. So team, I think, is real important, and culture. And then, of course, you need to have some talent, and we've had some people in and out trying to find the right mix of talent, and I think we've really done a good job. And I think those are all important elements. That was a big, broad question. I'm trying to figure out a
No, I think
specific
you
answer
touched
for.
on it a lot. I mean, culture is huge. I can't
Yes.
tell you, I've been in the dental field my whole life, kind of born into it with my parents. But you can feel, even when I talk to offices now working remotely, or when I was in offices, you can really tell the sense of vibe or feeling if they're not meshing well, or if the assistant is having a tiff with the front office, or just that
Mhm.
common drama that you see in an office. So I think culture makes a big difference. And it kind of then just overflows into the patients and them wanting to come back into that enjoyable experience.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's great. Now, I know obviously you've implemented eAssist into your practice and that
Mhm.
support. How would you say that's helped in behind the scenes, or taking your practice to the next level?
Okay, so insurance companies are generally not our friends, and they try to do as little as possible for their clients, and it's a business for them, right? It's a business model, and they've become a middleman between the client for us and our business. That middleman can take a enormous amount of time from our staff, and because they deny a claim, right? And then you have to maybe go on a portal, and then the portal doesn't work, and then you have to call them, and then they put you on hold, and they get you to someone, and then during that time you may be on hold for 10 minutes. Then when you get on there, then four people are at the front desk trying to get checked in or checked out. Plus you have 3 or 4 phone calls coming in, and it's like, man, I've done all this work to get this to work on this claim that was denied, and I sat on hold for this amount of time, and now I finally got the agent on the line, and I really need to be working with the people that are here present at this time in front of me, our customers, our direct customers, not the middleman, right? So um, that is gone. It's completely gone. um, our staff that is actually here on site at our facility, has no distractions with insurance companies.
That's great.
And the example that I gave you was a small one because, as you know, because I'm sure you've had some experience with it working with eAssist. There's a lot. I think right now we have claims that we've been working on for months, and even with our experts, they're still telling me, Dr. Wallace, we're confident that we're going to get it, but there's more hoops that they're making us jump through, and we're on it. So I think
Yeah.
that's been a
And
big help.
absolutely. I think insurance companies kind of capitalize on that process that you
Mhm.
explained, and they're hoping that 10 minutes in, you've got to drop off because then a patient walks in the front door, and then it starts the cycle all over again,
That's
and they
right.
just delay that time so they can delay that payment.
That's right.
Yeah. And it's so sad. I mean, especially as a nation going through what we just went through with the pandemic and now kind of seeing the collateral effects of that. You would think that insurance companies wouldn't make the patients or the providers work so hard for the money that they've been paying for being
Mhm.
insured, for so long. So it's really just nice to hear that eAssist is able to kind of unrestrict those distractions and allow that patient focused care, because right now it's definitely of importance just to feel seen and heard and know that someone else is fighting for that money. I think it's obvious an often misconception that offices are required to submit claims, and how that is a courtesy for patients. I couldn't imagine being a patient and having to file my own dental claim and then
Oh,
fight them.
no, no. And I'm kind of ashamed to say, but I may still not know how to read an EOB properly. But my front desk
Right,
does, and
right.
eAssist certainly does. Another thing I wanted to point out, my usual direct contact that I have with eAssist, Andrea Loshman, boy, she is very valuable to me. It's almost like having an extra, I don't want to say secretary, but an extra clerical person on my staff. If I need to generate a report, I'm constantly doing business admin things with loans and finances going in and out. And these banks are always asking, well, can I get this report based on these numbers and X percent of procedures you've done here and there? And every time I ask Andrea, hey, they're looking for this. Can you generate this? I mean, she's on it. Usually the same day it's done and it's sent right to me, and then I just send it to the next person so that I can continue to keep my chairs full and for us to have a good business.
Yeah,
It's
that's nice.
been really good.
That's really nice. That's one of the things I think in my current role that I like to explain to anyone that I'm talking is how we do have, those dedicated teams. So obviously we're a company that supplies that support, but I don't think until you're really immersed in it, you see the connection that you have with these team members, and they really just become an extension of your office family, and they really integrate, into those day to days. It's nice to hear that you've also kind of built that relationship. I've seen it so many times. I mean, to
Mhm.
where I've seen offices invite our team members out to their office parties because they're just as much a part, of their team. So it's
Yeah.
it's
I
really
think
nice.
I think Andrea is a little ways away, but
She
she's
is,
welcome to
yeah.
come anytime.
Yeah. Yeah,
Maybe I
no, I
can help
know we're
her.
all over.
Maybe I can help her on some transportation costs.
Well, I'm sure she would love that. But it's just nice to know that we can make that personal connection as well as providing, obviously the fundamental of the service.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's great. Well, we're just going to take a quick break from our sponsor, and then we'll be right back to learn more about your practice. All right, welcome back to our top practice winner, Dr. Dustin Wallace, our February eAssist winner. We just returned from our break, and before we left, we just touched on some of the community involvement, how you're making a difference in your practice, the culture that it creates, and just kind of taking your practice to the next level with that ultimate support with eAssist and what we can help to bring behind the scenes. Thank you again for taking this time with me. Now, as we come back, I wanted to touch on something that I thought to be pretty awesome is your veteran community involvement. Now, I know you are a captain in the U.S. Army Reserves. Tell me a little bit about that journey.
Yes, ma'am. So I have several cousins, uncles, aunts, etc., that have been in the armed forces. I think one of them was Navy, and the other 90 of them were Army.
Okay.
So, and I always was impressed with the discipline, the the symbolic nature of the military, and the just the reverence that people give it. And I feel the same way. I'm patriotic, and I just enjoy being a part and being able to wear the uniform and have that honor, duty, respect, leadership, all of that. Um, I guess the other motivator was obviously dental schools have become I don't know if they're a racketeer kind of deal yet, but man, $500,000 is pretty common now to get through dental school. And as I said earlier, I come from a typewriter repairman and a waitress slash clerical parent household. So $500,000 is not really laying around anywhere. So the U.S. Army, the agreement that we formed, that I signed up on with the Army Reserves as a 9-year agreement, and I'm finished. I guess, yeah, near the end of year 8, so I've got about a year and a half maybe left, and then we'll see how it goes after that. I may try to get the 20 and retire, but the agreement with the Army has really helped me to I guess pay off some of my student loans and survive that huge hit that it costs.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's really great. And thank you, obviously, for your service and that, investment of your time. And I think it kind of is one self, I guess is the word self-serving, self-unserving. I'm not sure if that's the right terminology, but you're serving in so many different areas. I mean, it's almost an alignment, right, with serving your country and supporting in that way and supporting your community and their dental needs and your practice. It's just kind of a full circle.
And the other thing too, I have recently, my practice, which eAssist would know, we have reached out to the VA and a company called LHI, which is their big insurance kind of collections entity that they use. And we've been seeing several veterans over the last 6 to 12 months, I guess. Not sure how long when we started, but somewhere in that area. And that's been a pleasure too. I feel like I can immediately, kind of connect with those patients, and they usually have a mutual respect with me because they know I've served 8, 9 years almost. So that's
and
been
it gets
a
them
joy
out of
too.
the VA, right? I mean, I think VA
Yeah.
dentists kind of get a bad rep, but I can understand as a previous military child and the
Yes.
dental world of it.
Yeah.
So it's
I
probably
get
nice that they have another option.
I get several VA patients that I guess I would say they communicate to me the not fast pace of the VA where they left, and yeah, I hear how, wow, they're kind of like, wow, this was so quick,
Yeah,
and they're really I guess excited and happy when they get to our office and see that things
right.
move a lot faster.
Yeah, limitations are definitely a little bit different in the private practice, so I can
Yeah.
understand that difference there. Well, that's really exciting. That's just awesome that you can continue to do that. I can relate, the respect level and just the sense of direction and structure that provides. It's really life changing for sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, and then I just kind of like to always ask everyone that I talk with and interview if you were able to kind of give yourself a letter or talk to yourself when you were first graduating dental school and tell yourself one thing that you would do differently or continue doing, what would that be?
That is a difficult question.
Yes, I know. Makes you
One thing I
think.
would do differently or continue to do, uh, I would say when you're hiring employees, make sure that you establish some form of, this is going to be a training phase and then a probationary phase, and make sure that you get an employee handbook as soon as you possibly can, and you have these protections in place so that you both protect your employees and yourself and your business and everything from litigation or problems. I think those are very important part of probably any business, but certainly one where we have so much foot traffic in and out, and we're performing on the human body every day. So I think those are real helpful to have. And I guess I would have had mine finished sooner. And I would continue to emphasize that. So
That's
I guess
great.
that's
I
my
tell you, I've
answer.
asked that question a lot of times, and whether I'm, on a podcast or just kind of speaking, that's one of my intriguing questions. I've never gotten that answer before, but I think that's one of my favorite, because it's things that, I mean, I have talked to many dentists, and in dental school, even though you were paying like what you had talked about, you don't really get that like management of an office or business 101 of the things you want to get in, you want to start practicing. And that's just really sound advice, that when you're starting a practice, these are the fundamentals, which really may not be that hard. And there's people there to help, of course, too. But
Mhm.
I've never heard that individual piece of advice. And I think that's probably one of the best pieces of advice any new doctor starting out could have.
Well, I hope it
It's
worked
great.
out, because you didn't arm me with that question before we started.
I know, and I
So I
never
was
do,
like,
because I want to get you off guard.
you
It's
caught me.
that we could really ask that question in any phase of our life, right? Or any
Sure.
different section, whether it's our marriage or relationships, or if you're a parent. I mean, you could really ask yourself that.
Mhm.
And I think it's always nice to kind of and I apologize, didn't mean to take you off guard, but just that organic, like, as of today, what would that be? Because tomorrow it could be different.
Oh yeah.
So, well, I've really enjoyed our time today. It's nice to kind of talk with someone that you feel like you've known for a while. I feel like I've learned so much about you. I know you've got some exciting things to do today and deliver that check to the high school.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I'm so excited for them. And I will not take any more of your time. Again, we have just loved having you, one, as a client and partnering with your practice, but two, to celebrate you as our top practice winner for February.
Thank you so much. And one last thing, the number 8 ranked Arkansas Razorbacks are going to kick some butt today, and they have to play. And I find this funny. They happen to play a university called Colgate. So
Oh, how
we'll see
funny.
how that goes.
Your favorite team in your favorite industry, right?
That's right. That's right.
Well,
Whoopee-doo.
absolutely. Well, you have a great rest of your day and your weekend. Again, thank you for your time today, and we'll talk again soon.
Okay, thank you so much. And I really appreciate what eAssist has done for us. So thank you again.
Thank you. To learn more about eAssist's top practices, visit www.dentalbilling.com and make sure to subscribe to this podcast so you never miss an episode.